Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, January 14th at 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2020. The models are in, and the pattern has shifted east, and there will be snow covering most of the country as we enter to the middle and the end of January. We're keeping a close eye on Taal Volcano as we watch it live. And they dump jet fuel on children in the schoolyards in LA. Keep calm, it's boom time. New winter storm brewing for more snow in Puget Sound area this evening. 3 to 5 inches predicted in many of the regions that already saw snow. Say it ain't so. Seattle, another winter storm is brewing for Tuesday evening and night, set to add an additional thick layer of snow to parts of the region where many are still blanketed from the storms earlier. It's getting squirrelier over there in Seattle. Hello. Heavy rain, 40-mile-per-hour winds, and snow in the Bay Area forecast. Look at that picture. It's the calm before the storm. Tuesday expected to be chilly and mostly dry before the largest storm to sweep the Bay Area so far this year heads into the region Wednesday night. That is their plight. The system from the Gulf of Alaska is expected to deliver a potent mix of moderate to heavy rain, high winds, frigid temperatures, and low elevation snow. Ho, ho, ho. We'll get to the models in a minute. Colder weather pattern returns east of the Rockies as second half of January begins. Say it ain't snow, but it is. State Patrol troopers in District 4 respond to 82 crashes in 9 hours. Hours of power is in the Seattle, Spokane, Washington area. Hello. Washington State Patrol troopers had another busy day and another round of snow moved through the inland northwest, which is the best, according to Trooper Sevganye. In District 4, troopers have responded to 82 crashes and several smashes, including the dashes of another storm to impact the west, additional heavy rainfall in the southeast, fresh snow for the north central and northeast U.S. Another strong Pacific storm will bring additional rain and heavy mountain snow with strong winds to the west on Wednesday and Thursday, which is your nothing rhymes with that. I got a new hat. In the southeast, the stalled front will continue to be the focus for additional heavy rain and flooding through Wednesday. A weak storm will bring a streak of fresh snow and possibly some ice Wednesday and Thursday from the northern plains and to New England. We're going to get to those models. Winter storm watches warnings and flood warnings in the southeast. Winter storm watches in the purples, schmurples, and light blues. And they've changed all the colors to keep you thinking. Let me switch my size. Let me shrink myself down to size. The size I deserve to be. Weather.gov. Check your counties. Let's go to the snowfall analysis map, and you can see in the last 48 hours the big winner is the west, which is the best. But the Midwest has picked up some snow in the last 48, 6 inches over here in the northeast of Iowa. Of all places, Wisconsin's the big winner overall. Tippy touch in Maine, it's insane. 8 inches in some regions of the north. This pattern will continue, and we go to the Canadian mountain model, which is pretty accurate, and we're going to walk it through real quick. Because we have a good system moving through here. It's going to bring the most significant snowstorm to our region starting Thursday and extending all the way through Saturday. So here is your Wednesday. Little light snow in the northeast, but heavier snow all throughout the west above that 45-degree north latitude line. And then here's your Thursday as the event sets up. Heavy snow will move into the northeast, including Vermont, New Hampshire, northern Dax, all northern regions, and central and southern Maine. It's insane. And then the storm will pop off down there in New Mexico, bringing heavy snow to the mountains, and then our southern Rocky Mountain area there. Real big, heavy plume coming in there. And then the storm will pick up on Friday and develop in the Midwest, just below Iowa, and move east. And this beast will be developing and will bring heavy snow to many areas, snow like they've never seen this winter yet. And then another system is right behind it. So we're going to be monitoring the pickup in activity. And it is our prediction, as it has been for 2 years now, that the biggest activity here in the winter is going to be happening in February and March, especially for the Northeast. So keep your shovels out at least until March. Where are we? Oh, it's freezing cold in Canada. Edmonton is set to be the coldest place on Earth next week and break records. That's how cold it is up there. Records will be broken, and we are using a blocking software. I apologize. If you think you're having frigid temperatures in Canada at this point, you'll be bursting with that emotion next week, as it will get colder and it will tweak the temperatures. Entire province under extreme cold warnings and wind chills could hit minus 50 C up in Calgary. Holy! The entire province of Alberta is now under an extreme cold warning as Arctic air mass settles over the prairies, bringing with it wind chill values of minus 45 to minus 50 C. A little bit colder than last year. And how rare is Edmonton's extreme cold snap? Well, according to Environment Canada, they needed to put this global warming piece in and say, well, it's still 10 degrees warmer than it's ever been. And they're going to bite their words in a week or two. Mark my words on that one. Extreme cold snap causes near record breaking demand for power. It's just normal, prompting electricity emergency alerts throughout Canada. And that means if it gets to minus 60 C, or 55 C, which is my prediction in the next 4 weeks, they're going to be doing rolling blackouts and freezing people to death. I don't get it. I don't understand what these warnings are for. Warning, you are about to freeze to death. At least 130 dead as avalanches hit snow and heavy snow hit Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan. The avalanches have left many villagers stranded in Pakistan's Namel Valley, following heavy rain also triggering landslides. Highways connecting Pakistan and Afghanistan are blocked, Shamstan said, impacting the Afghanistan transport of essentials of Afghanistan, where at least 39 have been died. Hello. Global warming. NASA maps ground changes from Puerto Rico earthquake. And it stopped right there. So apparently there are no satellite data to the left or the west, however you look at it. But you can clearly see here that this ground here by the shore came up, and away, which means sea levels dropped in this area in Puerto Rico. Good news for Puerto Ricans, where they have not much good news. Seismic update. No quakes of note, except the New Madrid continues to move in spectacular fashion, 2.5, and New Madrid itself in misery. Hello. We have some more Arctic activity. We have blot echo at deep depths, 5.3 in Fiji, which could emerge at 6, 7 magnitude at the surface. So let's keep a close eye on that. And they still continue to pop off here in Japan. We have some more activity in the Caribbean fault plate here at 4.8 down in the Dominican. Anyone's guess where that will go. Taking a look at telemetry, it's bad news. We are now in the block 180 zone, which is where major earthquakes then kick off. And we are now there. We're dropping a little bit out of there, but plasma density has increased and is spiking again a second time, which is going to send the speed up over the next 6 to 12 hours. So look at the KP getting up 1 to 3, and we're going to keep a close eye on what's happening here with space weather as well as the seismicity on Earth. Hello, another one just popped off. Boom! 4.6 in the Philippines. Pandaluga Tunga Chunga. Oh, I hope that volcano didn't just blow. We're going to get to that in just seconds. Stick with us. A volcano has blanketed parts of the Philippines in a thick layer of toxic ash. The pictures coming out here are amazing. Devastating. Biblical. This guy's shoveling his roof. That's heavy. That's ash is heavy. It's rock. That's rock dust, free rock dust, but it also has toxic chemicals in it which needs to wash away. So at first it's a boon. No, it's not a boon. At first it's a bust. It kills everything. But then after the toxic chemicals wash away, it's a boon because there's so much micronutrients in this ash. This is why this place is such an amazing tropical oasis when it's not burnt and covered in ash. So a little bit about the life cycle on Earth. This is necessary for these places to be so lush and tropical. And the reason they're lush and tropical is because of the actual volcanic ash from these volcanoes. It's not a devastating thing. It's only devastating that's portrayed by the media when they put up this plastic garbage picture of some shit from Walmart that nobody gives about, and as it have something to do with devastation. This has everything to do with rebirth and renewal on the earth. And too bad for that guy's Jeep, but he knew where he lived, next to a volcano. Hello! But I digress. Taal, the very small but dangerous volcano. This is nonsense. These people didn't even do any homework. It's not a small volcano. This tiny caldera sticking out of the lake is sticking out of the center of the actual caldera of the volcano. Similar to Anakrakatoa, which is no longer Krakatoa. Say it ain't soa. This is just bad reporting. No one does any scientific research, any homework. It would take a normal person that's slightly smart with a high IQ to go research Taal Volcano to find out this information. It's not like this is like rocket science. I'm like, wow, I'm about to blow your mind, and I'm about to tell you about the truth about the Earth, which there's billions of people been studying this stuff. Hello? Here, let's take a look. This is the small island in the lake that, if this baby blows at VEI 5 or 6 again, could trigger a landslide, which would cause a tsunami, which would kill all the people around the perimeter of the lake. There's like 1 million people. I don't know if we'll get to that. I might have population densities. It's unimportant. But you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 12 eruption points. These are circular areas that once exploded. The current one is the lake itself here, and it just blew a little bigger. Now, this is not Taal Volcano. This is just a little tiny caldera inside this hole with other major ports that have blown up. This is the main caldera, this lake that erupted 5,300 years ago at VEI 6. This is the main boom. We saw like a little boom. So there are way bigger booms that can come from here, and we don't even know about the big booms. The history of Earth is basically unknown. 99.99% of all history is unknown. And the other 99.9% of history that you know is fake, made up by the winners, not the scientists. Trust me. They got burned to death when they had their information. What happened here? Take a look. They're dumping jet fuel on people. We're going to get to that. But here we are live at Taal, and there was an uptick. So we had just had a seismic event, and now the seismicity has picked up in a major way. So we are watching history in the making live. You can see the seismos on the bottom just banging off the chart currently. There was just a little bang earlier, and let's go tell them I told you so. Over in the chat. It's boom time, kids, and that's what we're going to say. So come give them some love over here. There's a bunch of people that got their panties in a bunch over in this room because they don't realize this is part of natural geologic activity on Earth. This is just amazing to watch. It's not a tragedy. It's a tragedy if you decided to live near a volcano that could do this, yes. But that's on you. We can all just pick up our stuff and walk away. Can't we? We can. I don't have any money. Yeah, well then pick up your stuff and walk away because it doesn't matter. Thank you, Tammy D. Thank you, Yuki. People are donating as people's lives are getting worse and more miserable. It's really like, it's very bizarre. It's bizarro world. Taal volcano eruption could be a threat to millions and the global climate. Now, you should all have new respect for the Weather Network up there in Canada. This is an amazing piece and an excellent synopsis of the actual science. Taal volcano eruption could be a threat to millions and the global climate. And they go on to talk about it. They go on to talk about stratospheric aerosol injections, how that these particulates can last for years, months, decades even, depending on the height, the length, and the magnitude. And they're picking up what we've been putting down. And they're talking about scientific facts. They even back it up with data here. The Mount Pinatubo eruption right before 1991 and the drop in global temperature all the way through 1992. Who knew? You do now. Those are the facts. Stratospheric aerosol injection of particulates reflects sunlight back into space, cools the planet quite rapidly. Here you see a drop of at least 0.7 C. Holy macaroni. Pinatubo alone dropped the temperature in 1 year, 0.7 C, which you won't recognize locally, but that results in massive blizzards and other things. And as we're entering a grand solar minimum, a magnetic reversal, and more volcanic eruptions, just like we predicted years ago, this will add insult to injury, and we're now reporting on it. Hello, and we're going to see the effects as we enter spring. Ding, ding. Huge blizzards, multiple events, never before seen. And Al Gore will be nowhere. Worldwide Volcano News Update, Sakurajima exploding. Great footage at Volcano YT where we just came from, so go check it out. I don't have the bandwidth to show it, but I certainly do to have to show this nonsense, which is because they love you so much.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. We're going to begin tonight with breaking news out of Southern California. A Delta flight headed to China dumped more than 10,000 gallons of jet fuel over Los Angeles, sickening as many as 60 people, including school children. The plane had just taken off when an engine problem forced it to release its fuel and make an emergency landing. All of the passengers on board are safe and a larger disaster was averted, but all of that fuel rained down on at least 6 schools, including on a playground. Danya Bacchus leads off our coverage tonight.
We have approximately 20 children complaining of irritation to the skin and eyes.
As emergency crews raced to a Southern California elementary school, they feared the worst.
We do have the smell of fuel in the area right now.
Park Avenue Elementary is on the landing path to LAX.
89 Heavy, we have engine compressor stalls on the right engine. We're requesting runway 25 right.
A Delta Airlines 777 bound for Shanghai and loaded with fuel had just taken off when the pilot declared an emergency, circled to land, and on final approach, dumped fuel, some of it raining down on the school playground.
I was so scared, so we just went inside.
Yeah, you just got sprayed with jet fuel.
And then my eyes started itching.
You should be scared. They love you so much that they were able to spray jet fuel right in your eyes. No surprise there. Oceans are warming at the same rate as if 5 Hiroshima bombs were dropped in every second. This is coming from CNN's headline. And ocean temperatures have reached a record-breaking high, according to Live Science, one of the top mainstream journals on science. And here we have coming from NPR News, Twin City scientists heat of 5 to 6 Hiroshima atom bombs per second into the Earth's oceans. The global ocean heat content change. Now let's break this down, because I was concerned, because I just recently read a paper that said oceans are cooling globally based on data. Now, if here's the paper, and there's John Abrams, the guy from the U.S. that we just reported on, that's involved in all this. Head author, record-setting ocean warmth continued in 2019. You can see here there's no abstract. It goes right to acknowledgments. There's no information. And then that should be very telling. So I grabbed a paper. Here it is. Record-setting ocean warmth continued in 2019. And you just get a snippet of the abstract here. Recent estimates of observed warming. Estimates of observed warming. Well, the observed warming is cooling, so I don't know what those are. Resemble those in models. So the warming models resemble the fraudulent data he observed, indicating that models reliably project changes in the OHC. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what the OHC is. So was I. It's the ocean heat content. So I was like, what is the ocean heat content if it's not actually the temperature of the ocean? What is that? And what does this graph actually mean, this hockey stick? So I did my due diligence and I came over and looked at what the ocean heat content is. And when you get to the definition of the ocean heat content, before it even gets to the definition, it says the improper expression, ocean heat content. So the entire study is based on an improper expression, ocean heat content, refers to the heat absorbed by the ocean, which is then stored as a form of internal energy or enthalpy. Now we're getting the physics here, and your heads might hurt, because the fact heat is not a function of state, and thus cannot be stored as it is in any way. So the whole idea of ocean heat content is bullshit, totally. It doesn't even exist. Unless you make it up and you scare people with it and you say that it's the worst ever. That's how fast it's warming. The ocean heat content, which is a misnomer to begin with based on science and physics, is going straight up based on all data, which doesn't even exist. I hope I just blew your mind. Boom! That's a big one. It's a big one. That was a big boom. That's why we had to go big there. I apologize. I don't want to go too big. Well, we'll go home. The improper expression, ocean heat content, refers to the heat absorbed by the ocean, which is then stored as a form of internal energy or enthalpy. Because, in fact, heat is not a function of state and thus cannot be stored as it is in any way. Changes in the ocean heat content, in this case, are bullshit. Ocean heat content. Now, I want you to know that there is an actual paper based on science, Cooling of the Global Ocean since 2003, and it was published by a PhD. And I got the whole paper for you. Somewhere. I swear I got it. It's right here. I'm going to give it to you. Craig Loesch, National Council for Air and Stream Improvement. Ocean heat content data from 2003 to 2008, 4.5 years, based on ocean temperature measurements were evaluated for a trend. And they're taking actual temperature data, not models, and they're then incorporating the ocean heat content here, which is just it's an equation that factors in joules, a form of energy that could be stored by the heat. And it doesn't show any warming. The actual scientific paper that has merit shows cooling based on data of actual temperature data. I'll leave you links to the paper that shows the ocean cooling globally from about 2000 to 2010, which would contradict any global warming claims whatsoever, period. We don't even need to argue that other nonsense based on models and a false premise of a model being able to determine ocean heat content. World Health Organization says new China coronavirus could spread. It could? Did they plan it? Who knows? But the headlines are in. And this virus that they know nothing about could spread all over the world. Geologists are also baffled by massive anomalies at the edge of Earth's core. That's funny because we're headed into a magnetic reversal and they think the core is solid, piece of iron spinning around. But they're baffled by these anomalies, which means that they have no idea what's going on, which means that you should be scared to death. at the state of science. You should be preparing because the systems are about to collapse. Too big to fail, fails in an epic fashion. And we have data to back that up. Now, the use of companion planting is important in your permaculture orchard and garden. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to leave you links to this article. Certain plants thrive next to other plants. It's that simple. Certain plants don't like to be near other plants. Cucumbers sap too much energy from the soil, and they should not be planted by tomatoes if you want optimal results. So if you want to know how to get optimum results from your permaculture scenarios, learn about guilds. Guilds are simply groups of plants that should be planted together because they benefit each other. They either attract beneficial pollinators or beneficial predators, which help protect your plants. So get your skill set up high because soon there will be no more Googler for you to Google. Blake a schmoogle. Do we have anything left? There's something clipped up here. It's not coming up. Hello? Does consciousness pervade the universe? The universe is conscious, and you are part of that consciousness. If you haven't gotten to that level, it's a process. But before we get to the process of being one with the universe, new bone-eating life form discovered in bizarre alligator corpse study. We've had this uptick in flesh-eating bacteria. I'm sure you've heard about it, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Now we have a new bone-eating life form discovered in bizarre alligator corpse study. Hope you got something out of the video. Thanks to all our one-time donors, all the people that have stuck with us for years, and each and every one of you that shares these videos. This is important information. For some, it's redundant. For others, it's all new. Many people think this is just a scam and I'm paid by big oil or something. If you haven't noticed, I'm sitting in a barn freezing my ass off. Yeah, that's the temperature because I love you so much. Be safe. That's a boom.